For a little bit more reaction on this, we bring in the governor of the great state of Texas, Governor Abbott. Nice to see you, sir.
Good to have you in Texas.
Wow, it's good to be here, and your adoring fans. We'll get to the sports talk in just a minute. Your thoughts just now on what the vice president had to say.
He was spot on with regard to the importance of filling this seat and the great appointment that the president made in this particular pick. Listen, I had the chance when I was the Attorney General of Texas to argue before the Supreme Court in the Ten Commandments case on the Texas Capitol grounds. We won 5-4 with Justice Scalia in the majority. Justice Scalia is a legal giant whose seat has to be filled by someone like him. I believe President Trump picked the right guy to succeed Justice Scalia.
It does give you the sense, and you just mentioned that key vote 5-4. Right now it's 4-4. There is so much that is deadlocked, if you will, that cannot come to the court, that's waiting really for a justice and for a tiebreak. Give me a sense from a governor's perspective what you guys need guidance on that the Supreme Court can help with.
We have so many cases involving the state of Texas, involving our voter ID, involving the Clean Power Plan, and involving all kinds of rules and regulations before the Supreme Court right now where we need that tie broken. And so holding up the vote on this seat is a disservice to Americans, a disservice to the states, a disservice to the Constitution. This seat must be filled and confirmed immediately.
Well, and as you point out, it's so easy to sort of sit back and go, gee, I don't really know how this affects me sitting at home wherever I am. But as you point out now, there's so many cases and so much law across the land that's up for grabs. Two big issues that President Trump made his campaign about, one being the Supreme Court. We know there were a lot of folks who voted solely on that issue. The second issue, of course, being immigration, something that hits home here in Texas, and the issue of dealing with sanctuary cities. Already this week, you defunded $1.5 million from Travis County, Austin, sanctuary city. Is this what we're going to start seeing, you think, as more governors taking direct action against cities to try and enforce this?
We are. You know, you mentioned the word immigration. Listen, we support legal immigration. The issue is really illegal immigration, and it's the action by some law enforcement officials, like in Austin, Texas, the Travis County Sheriff, who is not following the law, who is not applying the law. Law enforcement officials don't get to pick and choose which laws they will apply. They have to apply the law of the United States, which means holding behind bars those who are criminal aliens who can pose a danger to others. And because the Travis County Sheriff said that she was not going to do that, for one, I have defunded Travis County from the governor's office. But second, we're working on legislation that will pose real penalties, fines, potential jail time for sheriffs who do not follow the law. If they're going to swear an oath to follow the law of this country, they better do it or pay the consequences.
Or have to answer to you, as it were. Earlier this week, you were down on the border with the new Director of Homeland Security, Secretary of Homeland Security. Give me your thoughts. Is it fair to say there's a new sheriff in town? And secondly, how quickly, as we look at some of the video of you down on the border, how quickly can changes really be made on the border, or do we have to wait for the proverbial wall to be built?
It's going to be very swift. I had a great conversation with the Secretary of Homeland Security, John Kelly, and I asked him specifically, when can we expect this? He said, expect speed. He's talking about in the March timeframe when we begin the process. There'll be several things that will be done. One is adding more agents. Two is strengthening the border wall. Listen, there's a border wall already there. And so it's making sure that we have the adequate border wall, but also it's multi-layered. There's boots on the ground. They're talking about adding about 5,000 agents. It means more
air assets,
et cetera, to make sure we secure our border.
Well, and something I know you've been talking about this for a long time, and as you pointed out, finally now you have the opportunity to do something about it. It's got to be exciting, though, as we zoom out a little bit, look around where we're at, to be here in Houston, your home state. I know you spent a lot of time in Houston growing up, and you're hosting the Super Bowl.
This is fabulous. This is really the sports state of America. We got Super Bowls here.
Except none of your teams are in the Super Bowl.
Well, they got the wrong teams in the Super Bowl.
Oh.
This should be the Super Bowl between the Houston Texans and the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, they all agree with that. There may be a few other folks who disagree. It was a rough time for both the Texans and the Cowboys. We can admit that. Quarterback problem here or there. But when it comes to this is really a chance, though, for you to highlight this city. And Houston's had a hard go of it the past year and a half or so.
You would think because of the downturn in oil, but despite that fact, we still added more than 200,000 new jobs in the state of Texas this last year. There are more Texans with jobs today than ever before. Our economy is thriving. Look at this area right around here, and you see the level of energy, not oil energy, but the energy of the people, the vibrancy of the people of this state. There is no state better than Texas, especially as it concerns our jobs, our economic environment, and the great people.
You all agree you're pretty great? There we go. Great governor, too, right? There we go. They agree there as well. Governor, great to have you. Looking forward to talking to you later this month when you come back to D.C.
Thank you, Leland.
Good to see you, sir.
Take care.
All the best. Liz?
All right, great job.